Hey, welcome to the Past Passport. This isn't just a travel channel, this is a portal. Here we don't just show you where history happened, we show you why it mattered, how cities became empires, how trade routes became power moves, and how the flow of money shaped everything from palaces to politics. Because history isn't just war and dates, it's currency, contracts, and clever people in the right place at the right time. Today's story. It takes us to a city that literally sat on the fault line between East and West, a city where three of history's biggest empires cashed in on the same thing, location. Let's head to Istanbul, or as it used to be known, Constantinople. There's a reason this city has had three names, three religions, and three world empires fighting over it. Because Istanbul isn't just a city, it's a checkpoint. Look at a map. It's right there where Europe kisses Asia, where the Black Sea pours into the Mediterranean, where ships squeeze through the Bosphorus like coins through a slot machine. You want to move goods from east to west? You pass through here. You want to tax that movement? You build your capital here. And that's exactly what three of the greatest empires in history did: Rome, Byzantium, and the Ottomans. All of them ruled from this city, and all of them knew the secret. You don't need to own the world if you can tax it. Origins, the city that watched the world go by. It started with the Greeks, who founded Byzantium around 660 BCE. Smart move, they picked a peninsula surrounded by water on three sides, with a narrow strait that controlled naval traffic between continents. But the real magic started in 330 CE, when Roman Emperor Constantine the Great decided he needed a new capital. Rome was too old, too chaotic, so he looked east and he saw Byzantium. He renamed it Constantinople, moved the imperial seat there, and began building the most strategically positioned city in the ancient world. It wasn't just a city, it was a gate, a filter, a toll booth for the world's wealth. Byzantine Empire, building a city on trade and tax. Under the Byzantines, Constantinople became the wealthiest city in Europe for centuries, not because it conquered land, but because it charged everyone else for crossing through it. Silk from China, spices from India, furs from Russia, gold from Africa. All of it moved through the city's ports, and all of it got taxed. If it passed through, it paid a price. The Byzantines were masters of regulation. Tariffs, port fees, warehouse rentals, customs duties. They built an economy where the city didn't just benefit from trade, it engineered it. Want to sell goods in the empire? Register with the state. Want to trade in silk? Get a license. Want to sell luxury goods in the market? The emperor gets a cut. It was bureaucracy, but profitable. And at the center of it all was the Forum of Constantine, the imperial marketplace where goods and gold changed hands by the hour. They even minted a gold coin so reliable, the solidus, that it became the international currency of the Mediterranean for 700 years. That's economic dominance, the fall of Byzantium and the rise of the Ottomans. But eventually, trade routes shifted, crusaders attacked, the Black Death hit, and the Byzantine Empire began to unravel. By the 15th century, Constantinople was a shadow of itself, rich in name, poor in defense. Then came the Ottomans. In 1453, Sultan Mehmed II took the city by storm. It was a seismic moment, the fall of a Christian empire, the rise of a Muslim one. And yet something strange happened. The economy didn't collapse, it expanded. Mehmed knew exactly what he had, a global toll booth. And he wasted no time turning Constantinople, now renamed Istanbul, into the beating heart of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottomans supercharged the trade machine. They rebuilt the Grand Bazaar, opened caravanserais for traveling merchants, protected roads, regulated markets, and yes, taxed everything. But they also offered stability. Merchants from Venice, Genoa, Persia, India, they all came. Because while Europe was at war with itself, Istanbul was predictable, profitable, organized. The Ottomans even introduced tax farming, outsourcing revenue collection to private contractors who paid the state up front, then collected taxes themselves. Risky, but efficient. The empire got its money fast, and the collectors made their profit in volume. And through it all, Istanbul stayed what it had always been, a city where proximity was profit. Modern echoes, a city still built on movement. Today, Istanbul is still massive, still alive, still sitting at the crossroads of continents. But its economy looks different now. Shipping still matters. The Bosphorus still pulses with oil tankers, cargo ships, and fishing boats. But now it's also about finance, tourism, real estate, and geopolitical leverage. And while the global trade map has expanded, with new ports, air routes, and digital exchanges, Istanbul still holds one of the most strategic physical positions in the world. Look at a cargo map today. You'll still see Istanbul quietly collecting, quietly influencing, just like it always did. Reflection. Why this city mattered, and still does. This city didn't invent trade. It charged for it. It didn't conquer the world. It let the world pass through and took its cut. Rome used it as a throne. Byzantium used it as a vault. The Ottomans used it as a global checkout counter. And every empire that held it understood one thing: you don't have to move goods to make money. You just have to stand between the people who do. That's Istanbul's power. It taxed the world into glory. Thanks for walking the line between East and West with us. If you like this story, subscribe and let us know. Which city do you think holds the power today? Which modern place is quietly charging the world to pass through? Because here at the Past Passport, we're not just chasing history, we're following the money. And we've got a lot more cities to explore.